We have a few announcements for you. You've seen some on our slideshow. The first is to remind you that we have an ongoing show in the art gallery that is quite phenomenal. The art of the Navajo textiles, but there's also jewelry, and it's incredible. Anyway, after the service today, the gallery will be open, and this show will continue through November 25th. If you haven't seen the rugs yet, make some time. Jan Thompson wants to let you know you've got to reserve for the Thanksgiving potluck. We only have 22 people, and that does not make a feast, folks. Let her know that you're coming. It's 1 o'clock on November 23rd, and let her know what you're planning on bringing, okay? We got to have some bodies, because that's a fabulous time for us to get together as our church family and celebrate the holiday, being grateful for one another. Today, 15 minutes after the service ends, and I know you received an email invitation, but now you're going to get an express verbal invitation. That means so much more, doesn't it? You are invited to stay after church for an open discussion of what to do about our Zia that you see. It has been appropriated from the tribe, but it is not exactly as it should be. And there's a discussion that we'd like to engage you in about proposed changes to it. In addition, there are also some proposed changes to Article 2 of the UUA bylaws that you should know about. Now, we recognize that bylaws discussion can get, maybe they're not as inviting or as intriguing as other things might be, but Article 2 is what defines our faith, our denomination. It is where you find the 7 principles and the 6 sources. The proposed changes drop the principles and replace them with 7 values. A final vote will occur at the 2024 General Assembly, which is right around the corner, in June, so your opinion matters in guiding our delegates to that assembly. So please consider staying for this discussion. Also, this is for everyone, and it's on behalf of facilities, and I will say finance. If you are the last to leave the building, would you ensure that all the doors are locked and tug them to make sure that they are secure? Amen. There was something that happened this week, and that was not the case. And so, an open door is an invitation to vandals and theft, which we can ill afford. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm sorry, folks. But if you could remember, we would all appreciate that very much. Oh, we got a little time to rest and meditate, right?
Good morning. Good morning. And welcome. I'm Catherine Massey, Director of Music. It's wonderful to be with you this morning. We're going to begin with some singing meditation by our wonderful UU colleague, Sarah Dan Jones. There are 3 parts to this, and so you can sing any of the parts. We'll begin with one and move on to another, but you're welcome to stay singing, breathe in, breathe out if you'd like, or move on to the next one as you wish. You may remain seated for this. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
All it takes is a few deep breaths, and the world is a brighter place. That's my theory, anyway. Good morning, and welcome to this Sunday service for the Unitarian Universalist Church of Las Cruces. Today's theme is RESPECT, respect. And so to begin, we honor the Piro Manso Tiwa people upon whose ancestral land our community resides. Service leaders this morning are the Respectful Relations Team, led by Julie Woody. Members include Jack Walsh, Jennifer Trantham, Jillian Lang, and Peggy Devlin. My name is Katie Fitzgerald, and I'm a member of the RRT, and I'm your service associate today. Elwin Nunn is working the camera, Mike Yazko oversees the live streaming broadcast, and Claire Neal Wallace, the soundboard. And of course, we have our director of music, Catherine Massey, and the UUCLC choir, and along with them, our guest musicians, Old Time Pharmaceuticals. Quite a group today, right? Yeah. Jane Ash, Lisa Peterson, and Tom Packard are serving as our greeters. We are all delighted to be with you and equally glad that you are with us, whether here in the sanctuary or through the wonders of technology on YouTube. We here at the UUCLC are striving to become a beloved community. That's one of the reasons why the board invested in training lay leaders to become what is now known as the Respectful Relations Team. Here at the UUCLC, we embrace diversity in all its forms. All are welcome. Unitarian Universalism has no creed nor dogma. We are a covenant-based church, meaning that we agree to live in relationship with each other according to the Unitarian Universalist principles and our congregation's covenant of right relations. You can learn more about our church and check the events calendar at our website, uuchurchlc.org. If you are visiting us today in the sanctuary, we'd like to meet you. Please stand and wait a moment while we get the microphone to you. Then if you could introduce yourself and let us know where you are from. Do we have any visitors here today? I'm not going to trust you again, Steve Hitchka. But we're very grateful that Reverend Rod could join us today. So glad that you're feeling better. Boy, am I gullible. If we have visitors with us on YouTube, we hope that you will like us and subscribe, or better yet, email us. Let us know how we can contact you about services and other activities here at the church. Directly following this service, there will be an opportunity to fellowship with one another. We hope that you will join us down in the RE Great Room. There will be chairs out underneath the shade of the tree, as well as benches under the portico. We have treats, coffee, and conversation. This week's hospitality offerings are sponsored by the membership committee, and there will be plenty of time to you fellowship and then come back here, 15 minutes for the conversation here about our symbol and the changes that are coming, perhaps, to our bylaws, the UUA bylaws. Okay, that's it for me, folks.
When thinking of the word respect, most of us think in terms of the dictionary definition of holding someone in high esteem or in high regard. Interesting, these definitions do not, they differ from the root word respect us. Respect us means to look again or to look beneath the surface. We, on your Respectful Relations team, take it one step further. We advocate living respectfully. In our human relations, we want to look beneath the surface. When possible, we want to convey understanding and acceptance. Getting beneath and below the surface is a genuine respect. I know of no better respectful way than to take our first UU principles to heart. Living respectfully is to respect the worth and the inherent worth and dignity of all persons. This, my friends, is living respectfully.
Today, you guys should have a pamphlet that looks like this. And I invite you to open it up, and on the inside, on the green page, it has the mission, and I'm going to invite you to read that with me. I'll give you guys a second to find it. The mission of the Respectful Relations Team is to provide a safe, non-judgmental space for members to come together to help restore relationships in a healthy manner when conflict has arisen, in keeping with our covenant of right relations. We light this chalice for respect, deep listening, and beloved community.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our affirmation of covenant. The words are on the screen, and we will follow that by singing the doxology in English and Spanish, and then remain standing as we sing our opening hymn. Thank you. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony, creation. Thus do we covenant with one another. From all that dwell below the sky, And we're going to stand for 1031, filled with loving kindness.
Good morning, church. That was beautiful, by the way. That was gorgeous. This morning, I'll be reading, Hey, Little Ant. Hey, little ant, down in the crack. Can you hear me? Can you talk back? See my shoe? Can you see that? Well, now it's gonna squish you flat. Please, oh please, do not squish me. Change your mind and let me be. I'm on my way with a crumb of pie. Please, oh please, don't make me die. Anyone knows that ants can't feel. You're so tiny, you don't look real. I'm so big and you're so small, I don't think it'll hurt at all. But you're a giant, and giants can't know how it feels to be an ant. Come down close, I think you'll see that you are very much like me. Are you crazy? Me, like you? I have a home and a family too. You're just a speck that runs around. No one would care if my foot came down. Oh, big friend, you are so wrong. My nestmates need me, 'cause I'm strong. I dig our nest and feed baby ants too. I must not die beneath your shoe. But my mom says that ants are rude. They carry off our picnic food. They steal our chips and breadcrumbs too. It's good if I squish a crook like you. Hey, I'm not a crook, kid. Read my lips. Sometimes ants need crumbs and chips. One little chip can feed my town, so please don't make your shoe come down. But all my friends squish ants all day. Squishing ants is a game we play. They're looking at me. They're listening too. They all say, I should squish you. I can see you're big and strong. Decide for yourself what's right and wrong. If you were me and I were you, what would you want me to do? Should the ant get squished? Should the ant go free? It's up to the kid, not up to me. We'll leave the kid with the raised up shoe. What do you think that kid should do? Thank you.
Thank you. We're now going to do the responsive reading. It's in the gray hymnal. It'll be on the screens. Number 602. If there is to be peace. I will read the plain type and you get the italicized. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Thank you.
Peace in the heart. I'm sure that it's not just my heart that's heavy as you consider violence in Israel and Gaza, losses of life there and in our own country, the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. One way in which we support one another in our beloved community is the sharing of sorrow, of joy, and milestones. This week we offer you the opportunity to light a candle and send into the universe your own joy or sorrow or concern.
Here's a song about one pathway to peace in the heart. It's called Whispers in the Branches, but only because Rainstorm Catharsis feels a little unpoetically on the nose.
Whispers in the branches, 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 whistle up the silvered songs of night. Whispers in the branches, 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 shivering upon your tongue alight.
Hist and hear the raindrops, pip, pip, patter, dancers and the color in one combine. Hist and hear the raindrops, pip, pip, patter, calling up and echoing in your mind. Echoing, 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 echoing.
Shiver to the bone, tone drums of thunder, pounding in a rhythm unreal and right. Shiver to the bone, tone drums of thunder, leaping with a spirit in every stride.
Whispers here within you, rise into a torrent that must take flight. Whispers here within you, pour into a chorusing blaze of life, echoing, 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 echoing.
Whispers in the branches, 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 whistle up the silvered songs of night. Whispers in the branches, 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 shivering upon your tongue
Good morning again. My name is Julie Woody, and I am a member of the Respectful Relations Team. You know that by the ribbon that I'm wearing. It's a new ribbon, showcased today, designed by Jennifer Trantham. Yay. When I was an elementary school counselor many years ago, one of my favorite books was Hey, Little Ant. This book had all the favorite themes of elementary school. It had the bully, the gangs, it had threats, it had empathy, diversity, kindness, respect, and listening. It was all there, and unlike other children's books, it had no pat ending. It ended with a picture of the upraised shoe and the question, what do you think the kid should do? When I was read this book in class, a lot of hands would go up and voices were heard. There was a lot of empathy for the underdog, or in this case, the under-ant. I'd have the children sitting around me in a circle, and as we talked about it, I would ask the children who wanted to take off their right shoe. Now, this took a little bit of doing for 7 and 8-year-olds and 6-year-olds, but we finally got the right shoe and we placed it in the middle of the circle. I'd mix them up, and then on the count of 3, I told them to pick a shoe that wasn't theirs and try it on. Walk about for a minute or two and see how it feels. Tell me, how does it walk? How does it feel to walk in someone else's shoes? Well, you can imagine lots of giggles, lots of laughter. It's too tight, it's too loose, it's stinky, miss. It doesn't feel right, it's not comfortable. I don't like it. Lots of comments. They had a great time, and they learned it's impossible to walk in someone else's shoes and truly understand how they feel. But when there are disagreements or misunderstandings, it is important to try. When we disagree with someone, we automatically think from our own understandings and belief. Our internal dialogue is going on, and we have our facts against theirs. We want to be right and to win. We're not good at listening or trying to understand another's point of view. But if our relationships are to be maintained and ongoing, we must respect the other person and know that the relationship is more important than winning, and it doesn't come naturally. In fact, it goes against much of our training. From elementary school on and before, we want to win. We want to be first. We want to get the gold medal, and there's only one gold medal. Second best doesn't cut it. You may remember the sign from elementary school of the L for loser. The silver medal isn't winning. Our culture does not stress the importance of community, the need to work together towards common goals. We stress the importance of self and individuality, and winning becomes paramount. The Respectful Relations Team believes that we can disagree and continue being friends, no winners, no losers, if we will listen and try to understand. We each come from our own perspectives and experiences. We have our own history or baggage that gets in the way of our understanding. For example, I have been divorced twice. That is part of my history. And if someone says to me and begins to tell me about their divorce, if I am to say, I understand completely, I'm not listening. I understand divorce from my perspective. Theirs is often very different. I cannot walk in their shoes fully. But what I can do is try to understand and suspend my internal dialogue, my chattering monkeys in my brain, and listen and empathize with them. This is one of the cornerstones of the Respectful Relations Team training. We want to help people repair the damaged relationship, come together, listen to each other, and feel understood. Our team does not solve problems and disagreements. We don't make judgments on who is right and who is wrong. What we do is provide a safe, confidential place for people who want to rebuild their relationship to come together, begin to talk, and listen to each other, rather than ignore each other, or, as sometimes happens, leave the church in a conflict. Solving disagreements is not what we do. Helping rebuild the relationship is. Let me say that again. Solving a disagreement is not what we are doing. We are there to help support people in rebuilding their relations. The Respectful Relations Team believes that conflict can be handled in a healthy way, not by ignoring, getting angry, abandoning ship, but through respect and listening. Our training last spring was extensive. 6 members attended: Jack Welch, Jennifer Trantham, Jillian Lang, Katie Fitzgerald, Peggy Devlin, and myself. And Susan Hitchka also attended as a representative of the board. Each of our team members came away with a better understanding of conflict and the importance of relationships. Over the summer, we met and we crafted our mission statement and decided how we were going to get this information out to you. And yesterday, we had a wonderful workshop here attended by a number of people, and it was really fun. The mission of the Respectful Relations Team is to provide a safe, non-judgmental space for members to come together to help restore relations in a healthy manner when conflict has arisen, in keeping with our covenant of right relations. And now I'm going to ask each of those team members to come forward and tell you a little something and share something that they came away with.
As we continue our discussion about right relations, I think we can all agree that effective communication is essential. In that regard, I want to share a few words from a book entitled Platinum Communication by Warren Hoffman. Some of you may remember this book. Jane Ash did a wonderful homily on the entire book, as well as a roundtable discussion about 18 months ago. The part that I want to share with you is a small part about 4 obscene words. Hoffman says there are 4 words that in conflict or disputation should be avoided. These words are, as you can see, but, try, should, and why. Number 1 is but, particularly if it's preceded by yes, but. Hoffman tells a case story of a man at the request of his wife decided that he would put a quarter in a jar every time he used yes, but. And at the end of 3 months, he would send this money to an organization that he abhors. At the end of 3 months, the jar was almost full, and he sent a few dollars to the Ku Klux Klan. Folks, if you try this, don't send money to the Klan. Hoffman recommends that we substitute the word and in place of the but, as in, now that you have spoken up, and now it's time to listen. Second word, try. Hoffman says the word try is often used as a socially acceptable lie. It's a word you can use to get someone off of your back. Substitute the word do. Do implies a commitment and is an action word. Now, when you're dealing with a person, whether it's in conflict or trying to help them, you often cannot do very much, but you usually can do something. By identifying something, that is a great help to the individual or to the group. The third word, should. Should is a guilt-producing word. Better to use could or would. Would you get your report in on time? Certainly is better than you should get your report in on time. And finally, why. Why is a blaming word and is likely to produce a defensive response. When we want to say something to somebody and we have some questions, don't say, why are you late? It would better to be, tell me what happened. In summary, our communication with family, friends, and coworkers, we want to avoid these 4 words. This, of course, is not easy, but if we self-correct our time, each time, maybe it will become naturally. And in any case, don't send any money to the Klan.
So I'm going to speak about deep listening. During our meetings, Julie introduced the ting symbol during one of our team meetings. I was immediately drawn to ting. After a quick Google search, I found a great description by Ava Diamond that I would like to share with you today. When we are in a conversation with another person, what are most of us generally doing while they are talking? If we are honest, we would have to admit that we're usually thinking of how we would respond. There are very few of us who are fully engaged in deep listening to another person's message. People we are in community with want to know that we care about them as individuals. They want to know that they matter. They want to know that we are listening to them. That means listening intently. That means being fully present in what they are saying. And that means getting behind their eyes and trying to see the world from their perspective. The Chinese character for listen, ting, captures the spirit of listening. I have to add, I was practicing saying that last night. You'll have to tell me if I'm saying it right or not. Because my son took Chinese, and so he kept telling me, Mom, you keep saying it wrong. I was like, okay, I'm trying. So that's a little side note. So the upper left part of the symbol stands for the ear. We use our ear to hear the words a speaker is saying. The lower left-hand part of the symbol is for king or dominant one, indicating that hearing the words through our ear is the most important part of the listening process. In the upper right-hand part of the symbol, we see mind. Our minds help us understand the words a speaker is saying and the message they contain. Below that is the eyes. Our eyes allow us to see nonverbal messages the speaker might be sending. And the bottom right-hand side is the heart. And above that, the almost horizontal line translates to one, or to become of one. This tells us that if we are listening in this way with our ears, mind, eyes, and heart, we can become of one heart. Listening with ting enables us to have a much higher quality of conversation and communication. When we listen with ting, we are engaged with what the other person is telling us. We are deeply listening to their meaning. We bring our hearts, minds, ears, and eyes into the exchange, and we get a much better result. I invite you to practice listening with ting. When you find yourself in conversation with someone with whom you may have a difference of opinion, are feeling discord, or simply getting to know them. Thank you.
One new learning that I had from our training was the term neurodivergent. I love words, and I hadn't heard this one before, but as soon as it was explained to me, I got it because in my over 40 years of education, I had seen a lot of folks who were neurodivergent. And what it means is it's a class of behaviors that are out of the norm. For example, you may know of individuals who struggle in social situations or particularly noisy environments, who don't like large crowds, perhaps, or have difficulty maintaining eye contact or none at all. They may not read visual clues very well, facial expressions or body language. Reading the room is extremely difficult for the neurodivergent. And examples of people who fall into this category include those who are on the autism spectrum, sufferers of traumatic brain injury, perhaps of stroke, someone who may have been diagnosed with Asperger's or even PTSD. Or they're just born a little different. And that's okay, because we welcome all here, don't we? It's important to remember, first of all, People are different. There are no two people who are exactly alike. That's the same for neurodivergent. The personalities and preferences of neurodivergent people can be wildly different, even though the underlying condition is the same. And we should not assume that anyone is incapable or unintelligent. People who are neurodivergent often have conditions or preferences that make them stand out or appear different, but that doesn't reflect their native intelligence or their ability to contribute or to make a difference, or even their ability to learn and try new things. More than any group in our society, neurodivergent individuals can find that communicating through computer programs like Zoom and email offers safety, that they can shape communication to what is comfortable for them. And as we are a welcoming congregation to all, including the neurodivergent, it requires us to be more respectful of the differences in communication styles as we share information and interact and continue that search for best ways. We need to consider ways to break down barriers and adjust our services, our meetings, our coffee hours, etc., so as to be more comfortable and welcoming for the neurodivergent. That's what it means to be respectful, at least in my definition.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Lang. I'm a member of the Respectful Relations Committee and also of the Committee on Ministry. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I opted in and really embraced the Respectful Relations training and hope to bring it to my congregation as a whole. Not that long ago, there was a major breakdown in communication in this congregation. I mean, I'm not going to go into details. The people who were here know all about it, probably more than they wanted to. And the people who weren't would have had a hard time understanding how we got ourselves in that mess. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about is the fact that we're not just here to listen and help people if they're in conflict with just another person. I want to talk to you about what happens when you feel alienated, when you feel divided, when you feel divorced from your community, when you're having a hard time even sitting in the same room with people that you know that you love. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I came to this place. When I was started to think about this, I was struck by the fact that I was just at a standstill. On the surface, as a lifelong UU, I thought, communication, isn't this obvious? I mean, isn't that what UUs do? Isn't that what they are about? Of course it's up to the community to help people get through this, to help them interact with one another and with their congregation, with their community, with their leaders. But there are times when it just doesn't happen. And I have experienced some of those. Some of them were a little bit embarrassing. When you're hurt and you're frightened, it's really hard to communicate effectively. And it's even harder to care about somebody else's hurt. I remember, well, I have a habit of writing things down in one of these books. I have a lot of them. So when I went back over some of these situations, these problems, some of them were embarrassing, some of them were shocking, some of them were funny. But in each and every one of them, one thing really stood out. There was a break in my community. and I didn't know how to handle it. And so I decided to take the training in order to learn better how to be a part of the solution and not the problem. I remember as an 8-year-old stomping down the stairs to the basement where religious education took place and being absolutely, completely determined that I wasn't going to participate. Thank you very much. Because my parents had moved halfway across the country and I was lost. And something that had been a factor in my life since before I could remember wasn't there for me anymore. That's embarrassing to think about. And the solution, believe it or not, there was a ziggurat, a model being built out of royal icing and sugar cubes. And that was what the project was. And all of a sudden, you know, I was part of a group. I was doing something. We were working together. And so the children gathered around me. They gathered me in. They gave me something to do. We were going the same direction again, not just me out there on my own, okay? There was another gut-wrenching, I can barely talk about it. I'm going to cry. I know I will. I was in a congregation where in the middle of a children's program, a gunman came in and he killed 3 of the congregants. And you would think that my rage and fear and anguish was because someone had harmed us. But that wasn't it. It was me. I couldn't understand how so many of them were so forgiving, because I wasn't being forgiving about this particular instance, and I actually should confess that I probably still am not. You know, it was so out of the norm. So why am I sharing this with you? It's because when things go sideways, what's always brought me back is my community. And as a member of the Respectful Relations Team, I'm not just here to help you sort things out with another person. I'm here to help you, if necessary, sort it out with yourself. I can't promise that any of us can make it better, but we can promise to listen, and listen with our hearts as well as our heads. Thank you very much.
Now, I have some questions for you. Is it possible to live with peace and respect for everyone as far as it depends on you? Jack and these ladies have said a lot of really important things. Did you really listen?
Thank you, team. You may be wondering, how exactly does this work? If any member of the church contacts any one of the team members that have stood up with a problem or concern, this is what happens. First, we talk to the individual parties, tell them we understand there's some confusion or disagreement, and ask them if they would like help to begin rebuilding the relationship in a safe and confidential place. If both people agree, they then choose one person from the Respectful Relations team to meet with both of them. That would be 2 of us on the team and the 2 parties. During the meeting, each person gets to tell what happened and how they felt. How do they feel now? The team members listen, try to help clarify and gain understanding, and in the end, we ask each of them, what do they need now as they go forward? And as Jillian said, sometimes it's not a disagreement with another person, it's some uncomfortable feeling or confidentiality or something that they want to talk with a person about something that is important to them that they're feeling, and they need someone to listen. That is also what we do. This isn't magic. It doesn't always work, but it is a start. And it's a recognition that people sometimes need support to begin again. Our relationships are really what hold us together and keeps our community strong. Disagreements that are not addressed weakens us. It's hard work. Knowing yourselves and your biases, listening deeply, understanding that others are different, and knowing that words matter. It's hard work to walk in someone else's shoes, but the Respectful Relations team is here to help. Thank you.
Well, we have had, over the past month, a pledge drive. I got to tell you, folks, and Shirley told me, and I said, yes, Shirley, I understand. This is a giving and generous people. This is a giving and generous people. And this year we used kind of a laid-back approach. We didn't send you letters. We didn't send you cards. We just kind of told you what we were doing up here, and we asked people to explain why they pledge every Sunday. And Mike had his little reminders with lovely pictures about all of these great things our community does. And I tell you, the numbers are terrific. It's great. It's wonderful. We're not quite there yet, so if you have not pledged, I encourage you to do so. And we have one more person to share with us why they pledge, and that is our board president, Susan Hitchka.
Well, I can't do it quite the justice of Kelly, but good morning, church. I thought about why I pledge. And the first thought that came to my mind was, I pledge because I'm committed to preserving and enhancing UUCLC's beacon of liberal thought in southern New Mexico. We're an important presence, and I believe in putting a lot of energy into trying to be sure it's still here for new people who come to town. And the second thought, it got bumped by listening to this group and remembering when Gary Kowalski, Reverend Kowalski, was here with us. He brought this to our attention that respectful relations training was about to begin, and we could, in like 4 days, still apply as a group. And I talked with the committee, basically the Committee on Ministry, and a couple of people from the board, myself and Jennifer, and we said, we'll do it. It was 6 weeks. It was a lot of work, to be honest. But they stepped forward and said, we'll do this. It's important. And why do I pledge? Because there are amazing people like this who say, yes, it's important, and yes, I'll step up. That was a big deal. I also pledge because I believe in protecting this space, keeping it vibrant, keeping it, standing. And that means that there's a space where people can come here and feel safe, hopefully. That's what we're working on, is for everyone who wants to be here to feel safe doing that and to enjoy the company of other people who truly want to work to make our wider community a better place and to deal with injustice and to try to make something happen. And the last thought I had was, I pledge because Unitarian Universalists believe that our own individual spiritual journeys continue and that we learn and grow and develop throughout our life as different situations and different pressures from the outside bombard us. We believe in sharing that journey. And as Jillian said, I get choked up, but this is true. To share the journey with people like you is a joy. Thank you.
Our title was ripped off from Aretha Franklin, and I'd like to take another lyric from Burt Bacharach or Hal David, whichever one of them wrote the words. Okay, Hal. All right, thank you. What the world needs now is a little more respect, right? At least I think that. And one of the things I would like to convey to you all at this time is we respect the many contributions of your time, your talent, and your treasure, as they are a tangible commitment to the mission and vision of the UUCLC. Each time you give, you renew your commitment, and as a result, your support is entwined with all that we believe and all that we do here together. In this spirit of trust and generosity, we will gratefully accept the offering this morning. And for those of you who are online, please refer to the electronic order of service or to the members section of the church website to see how you can make a pledge, if that is your preference. I'd like to remind you that we continue our support of organizations identified by the Social Justice Committee as recipients for our Change for Change program. We collect your actual change, or checks that have Change for Change noted in the memo line, or cash that you put in an envelope and mark Change for Change. And the recipient this quarter is Mesilla Valley Hospice, an organization that works with individuals and families to help provide end-of-life care that respects the inherent dignity and the unique needs of the individual. Thank you. Greeters?
Here's a joyful little piece celebrating universal belonging. It's called A Place in the Choir. Absolutely. Yes, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands and paws for anything they got. Now listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with a big to-do. The old cow just goes The dogs and the cats, they take up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles. The donkey brays and the pony neighs and the old coyote howls. Woo! All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got. Now listen to the top where the little bird's singing all the melodies and the high notes ringing. Hoot owl cries over everything and the blackbird disagrees. Singing in the nighttime, singing in the day. The little duck quacks and he's on his way. The otter hasn't got much to say. The porcupine talks to himself. Oh, all God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing higher, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands or paws or anything they got now. 'Tis a simple song, a living sung everywhere by the ox and the fox and the grizzly bear, the grumpy alligator and the hawk above, the sly old weasel and the turtle dove. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got now. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low, some sing high, some sing out loud on the telephone wire. Some just clap their hands, applause, or anything they got now.
Thank you so much for Patrick and our old-time pharmaceuticals today. Let's keep singing. Let's rise, embody your spirit to sing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Please join me for our closing words. It is more rewarding to resolve a conflict than it is to do a relationship. Thank you.
And now to extinguish the flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, or of the community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me for to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the seas for to ease your pain. In the night forlorn are the mornings born, and the morning shines with the light of love. You'll miss sunrise if you close your eyes, and that would break my heart in two. If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me for to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the seas for to ease your pain. If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me for to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would run to you. I would swim the seas for